What's going on, speculators? Time for afternoon Futures Fanatic broadcast. A little late. Apologize. Finally getting some selling. We might end up on our sixth day. We rest. So I'm not in many positions. Starting just short gold here, a little bit up at the top. I was fighting it earlier this morning. I'm still short. One last Dow Jones, and I will reshort it if it gets back inside the zones and we get a little bounce. We just moved outside. Hey, Nathan, can I get a quick one for picture and sound? So should be all right with picture and sound. I don't anticipate it being all that interesting in terms of me getting involved unless gold really starts to tank here. I have some small longs in the NASI in a couple accounts. So what I'm going to do is just get these a little aligned here.
Order filled.
Kind of did some bottom fishing.
Order filled.
So that's in these accounts right here. Let me see. I'm going to put in a sell stop here.
Order submitted.
And
Order
here
filled.
I'm going to just add on a pullback.
Order submitted.
These have a lot bigger risk budget. Got some good prices.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
And
order filled. Order filled.
Let's see here.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
All right. Go, Nazi. I'm going to scale out here a little bit on some ones that were
filled.
Underwater. Just want to get this all to a two lot. Oh, no. Let's sell that.
Order filled.
And, sell that.
Order filled.
Sell this.
Order filled.
Anyone have some long Nazis in here on this move?
Order filled.
Move down. When I said I came in and all I was in the Dow, I honestly I forgot about these positions here. I had them all copied. So we were actually up pretty nicely, and then I gave a bunch back. So for those that say I don't trade in the afternoons when I'm with you, take note of here we got some green, some red, and I'm multi-propping across a whole bunch of connections. And live we are short the Dow right here. You want to get really aggressive? This would be super aggressive, which would be to short this right here. Let's do it. Don't ever be shorting -2s, but
order canceled.
Let me do it so you don't have to. And can we manage to close on the lows just
order
one day,
submitted.
please? We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we get lucky. You got a short gold going on? Well, it's doing nothing. Gold market pit session, as they say, is closed, so we've got nothing going on there. The pit session.
Order filled.
I do need the NASI to go up in these Bullinox evals. We got nothing there. Got nothing there. Never mind. I thought I had some in here. Maybe this account. There we go. Yep.
Order filled. Order submitted. Order
Sell
filled.
one more.
Order submitted.
Now, I want to point out
submitted.
swings. I like when the swings are more than 100 bars, and I think we probably have a swing here that is 100 bars. Nope, 75. 75 is okay. 75 to 100. It's actually it's 80, just to be honest, so it's 80. 80 is what we're looking for. All right, so we can start to scale out of all this. 2 lot, boom.
Order filled.
I don't have the copier on any
filled.
of this.
Order filled.
And we'll get it to
Order
one
filled.
account each.
Order filled.
One contract each.
Order filled.
Uh-oh.
Order submitted. Order filled.
And there we go.
Order filled.
All right. So, I don't know. Did anyone say, maybe it's just me and Nathan, or just the two of us. Just the two of us. Anyone long gold? I mean, long the NASI? Talking about the things that are working out. I did add one short here on the Dow. Can't we get a low close, or the buyer's going to come back in? Or the buyer's going to come back in?
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Let's see. Let's see what happens. Nice move for the ES off the bottoms as well. I'm going to go ahead and be a buyer on this ES with the copier. Let me do it here. Yeah, we'll get it in every single account. So come to Butthead. I think we can get a revisit here. Let's see.
Order submitted.
Here we go. Come on. No? I promise the best thing to do is just sit on this super boring Dow. Close out my position at lows of day 42,575 and 42,600, but we need a little momentum to get outside the bands. Need some momentum to get outside the bands. Edwin, I have the answer for that in my ebook, Prop Done Right. So what you got to do is you got to come over to tradersdevgroup.com. Tradersdevgroup.com. The question for those that are watching this stream maybe after the fact is, what instrument is best to start learning futures? And I got you all hooked up there because it is in the ebook. Let me see. I don't know if I'm logged in here. Here we go. Ooh. Let me do this off screen. Here we go. Prop done right. You know, you get an entire 10 video course too when you sign up for this, but the question is answered in chapter 6, which is right here. Oh, there you go. Your starting instrument, the micro DAW. So that's how you do it. Stay away from the stay away from the NASDAQ at all costs. Download your free ebook right here. Here. Right down there. Got it? Got it? Good. All right. Good question. All right, let's move that out of the way. Nazi. Going higher. Going higher. You know what else is going higher? Is
order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Gold. Gold is creeping higher. You come on, you piece of crap. Let's go. Going the wrong way. He's going the wrong way. How does he know where we're going? You want to hear the prop done right? Prop done right. Use your words, Rod. The prop done right song. Let me see if I can end up playing it if... There we go. I want to try to restart this. This is such a good song. We're going to start it from the beginning. Here we go. Ready? Rock out. Prop done right. I don't know how to turn it up. Turn it up on your own side. Here we go. Prop done right.
No more reckless bets. Risk comes first, yeah, place your best. They said it's luck, but they don't see a trader's game is strategy. It's not about just passing fast, it's staying funded, making it last. Prop done right, take control. Trade real smart, let the profits roll. Risk comes first, that's the way. If you want to last, gotta trade that way. Prop done right, stack that green. Build it slow, keep your trading clean. No more tilt, no more fear. With the right plan, your payday's near.
Order filled.
First, stay in your lane. This ain't no casino, this ain't no game. Drawdowns tight, so keep it small. Stick to the plan, don't risk it all. One trade, two trade, then I'm done. Locking my wins, cause I already won. Patience pays, no need to chase. Pass it right, then keep your play. Done right, take control. Trade real smart, let the profits roll. Risk comes first, that's the way. If you wanna last, gotta trade that way. Prop done right, stack that green. Trading clean, no more tilt, no more fear. With the right plan, your payday's near. No shortcuts, no quick wins.
Prop done right.
Plan, stay locked in. Risk is tight, but I don't fold. Stick to the rules and watch it grow.
Bring it home.
Trade real smart, let the profits roll. Risk comes first, that's the way. If you want to last, gotta trade that way. Prop done right, stack that green. Build it slow, keep your trading clean. No more tilt, no more fear. With the right plan, your payday's near. Stick to the plan.
Oh, this is the little bridge. I'll get to some questions in just a second.
Prop done right.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
All right. All right, Edwin or anyone else who's just joining, thank you for joining the stream. I'm glad you found your way here. I stream live on YouTube from noon till 1 p.m. at the close. Well, obviously there's an extra hour in the futures markets, but you get what I'm picking up what I'm putting down till the New York close. Tuesday through Thursday. But if you want to find out all about the strategy, I can't teach anything really in here that much. So what you do is you come over here and you sign up for an absolutely free trial. There's no upsells or anything like that. And you will get access to everything that we do, almost everything. Absolutely everything we do. That's a catchy song, isn't it? And we have hundreds of other songs that we play during our trade room just to keep it light and fun. Anyway, trade room trials right there. Again, no upsells, nothing like that. Another great place to start, as I mentioned, is with the Prop Done Right ebook. Okay. So you check that out. And we go through all the details of the strategies. We have two main strategies. They're called Stay in Your Lane and the Range Trader. What screen am I on right now? Right here. Okay, the Range Trader's right here. That's this chart over here. And then we have this Brickwick chart, which you can set up as a 30-minute chart because I have the same thing over here on TradingView. You can trade the same thing on TradingView. And what you're watching is a combination of live, eval, and funded prop accounts. I keep about 25,000 in live accounts, 3 different live accounts that we keep really small. And yes, 25,000 is small, 5 to 10, 15,000. Another one's 7,500, and one of them is only 2,500. So we keep it very small so that we can apply these exact same risk management techniques using micros to live accounts, and then you can copy trade across as many Trade-Evade accounts as you want to connect and get something that looks like this. As I joke about, it takes me a long time to doctor this, but that's what we got going on. I've moved to some larger accounts. I generally suggest, remember, don't eat yellow snow, look both ways before crossing the street. If you knew the difference between good advice and bad advice, you wouldn't need any. This is not financial advice. It's for educational purposes only. However, I recommend that you do start with the smaller prop accounts. 50,000, what a joke. It's not 50,000. You start with like the ones that are about $2,500 to $3,000 in risk, where you have to make about $2,500 to $3,000. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't deposit $2,500 in an account. Even if the deposit fee, and there's no such thing as a deposit fee really, but let's say it costs you 25 or 50 bucks to open an account with a brokerage firm, a la the subscription that you would pay for a prop account, then you deposit 2,500 and then you risk the entire account. Why are people doing that? I know why they're doing that, because they prefer to just take shots and gamble and produce toxic type of behavior and then complain when the prop firms look to ratchet down on their rules or other things. Don't get me wrong, these firms are certainly not saints, but they're an amazing opportunity for traders if they do it the right way. And unfortunately, so many people are not doing it the right way. They're just not doing it the right way. They're watching Rips and Patrick Whelan and a bunch of, and by the way, some of these guys, I got no slight against them. They're making money hand over fist because you guys are using their affiliate codes, and they're creating an entertaining product and an entertaining kind of lifestyle. And by the way, a lot of them never claiming to actually teach or show how to really do the prop programs right. They're just more about throwing around size because it's sexy. Oh, you Dow Jones. You vixen, you. So much for a weak close. By the way, this short here is exactly the opposite of anything that you would actually do in the strategy. So don't follow this as a short. As this is actually, when you get back inside the bands, this becomes a long right here.
Order submitted.
So maybe if we can ever get a weak close, but right now they're starting to buy everything, right? Took the NASDAQ all the way back up into the bands. I'm going to look to be buying the pullback here to 21,334. By the way, we called for 300 today to the tick. If you want to go and watch the replay, how would you watch the replay, you might ask? Well, in our trade room, this is what our trade room looks like. Let me just show you. And we're there Monday through Friday. There's no one presenting right now, but here in the trade room, if you became a trade room trial member, you can go to the archives, go to recordings, and then we have every single, sorry, not every single, but all 10 recordings of the trade rooms from the last 10 days. This is very cool. And today we were talking about the 300 level, and that's right where we got down to. When did I get in the short at 42,668? So I was short the Dow to start the day. So I had a 3-lot on short the Dow to start the day. So I've been short this Dow like the whole session. And this is really where the range trader levels would be. We'd be short here. And it would go up to there. So that's where it would be. See this this is VWAP right here, and this is VPOC. So VPOC is 42,786, and VWAP is about the exact same level, which is nice. That means we have confluence. So this would be an SOS2 short today, strength of signal 2, meaning that we would short. It's just a strength of signal. It doesn't really increase the probability, but one of the things that it does is it gives someone a framework for how they can actually understand conviction or being. Give me a 1 in the chat if you struggle, and I know there should be a lot of 1s for everyone who's listening. We all know how to add to losers and take big losses, right? The most challenging thing to do as a trader is to have a overlay on when to actually be bigger, have a strength of a signal. And one of the ways that we do that in our group is we have what's called confluence or strength of signal. And that would be the time in which the 30-minute POC, which is the POC here, is the same as VWAP. So it could be a time in which instead of entered 1 contract, you might enter 2 contracts short, if that makes sense, right? So because we all know how to add to unprofitable positions, the hardest thing to do is to add to winners or be bigger in a higher probability trade, right? Now, I'm not a soothsayer, but we're right here with just a half an hour left. And gosh, it would be nice if we could have 1 red close, just some little continuation to the downside. But I'm seeing buying come in, and I'm seeing it coming in on the tape on the time and sales. So they're already starting to buy the S&P. They bought big blocks of the S&P at 38s and 40s. So here on the S&P, you can see it's starting to get back inside the bands as well. So not looking good for now this account has $7,300 in it right here. That's the one that you're watching on the screen. And I will often hold 2 to 4 micros. Not often, but I'll hold 2 to 4 micros if I'm positive on the day, which I am. So the mark, I'm up about, so there'll be some give back here, but I don't really want to have a
order canceled.
Don't want to have a 4-lot on into, what could be a V bottom here in the next half an hour, but I'm hopeful, although hope is not a strategy, that we can make some money on this Dow short in front of everybody. We'll see what happens. I'm curious when you got short. I already answered that. There's not a greater probability that this level right here, that VWAP, which has confluence with VPOC, is going to, it doesn't make it better. it just increases the strength of that signal so that you could experiment with selling 2 at that level instead of selling 1, or exiting all of your long position instead of holding a runner for a higher price. Remember, there's decisions that you can make about the way you manage profitable trades and the levels that you're looking to get out at, right? That's another factor that a lot of people don't consider. Also, if it's your first time here, the most important thing is that you establish, protect, and respect a daily risk budget. Start there. I know a lot of people want to come in and understand the theory and logic behind entries and exits and management and all those kinds of things. What you first need to do is just say, this is the amount of money that I can risk in any given trading session, and begin to produce true risk-adjusted returns. We just had a Trader Talk Tuesday today with a member that's been in our group for about 11 months. And he, like many others, admit that it took him a while before he was able to truly remove the behavior that a lot of people have. I guess there's nothing that I could ever be doing that will change this, because I hold unprofitable positions in front of people quite often for amounts that are larger than their daily risk budget, but they're within my daily risk budget. So my daily risk budget in these accounts is about $800. Okay, that's a lot bigger than what most people's daily risk budget should be in these accounts of these size. Because I'm capable of making 5, 6, 7, 800, 1,000 trading just micros, and not everyone is capable of doing that when they're first learning these kinds of things. So you have to keep your risk budgets smaller. But what Jerry was saying this morning was it just took him a while before he finally just got that the most important thing was just managing risk. I mean, that's it. I know you hear that a lot. So if you tune onto my stream or you check out what we do here, I will actually show you and demonstrate risk management in front of you all the time. What risk management looks like is, it looks like this. Let me see if I can find some good examples. I think I'll be able to. I want to find some. Nope, that's not it. Let's see. There's no way you would be able to see this, but so I take a screenshot of the results every single day, and you probably can't see this. It's really small, but they're almost always green. So I was trying to look for where there was a. Oh, here it is. This is what I wanted to show. Okay. And I've shown this before, but I just want to show it again. Because the only thing that does matter is your P&L. I mean, ultimately, that's how we're keeping score. We're keeping score with our P&L. By the way, NASDAQ almost up to 420, man, which would have been a VWAP short there. These were evals, and these still are evals. This is my PA. At the time, it was up to about $8,000 balance in each one. I've taken $12,000 out of each of these two PAs. The balance of these currently is like 153, something like that, which is a little lower. I decided to just take another 2750 out of each of them on the last pay cycle. But anyway, see this? This is right around, the risk budget in these accounts is $800. So they got up close to that. I hit the close button, done. The risk budget in these, which are just evals, are $1,000. I take a slightly larger risk budget in evals. So this is what it looks like. As long as you have the discipline and the ability to do this, to not buy a $150,000 valuation from Apex or anybody else and bury yourself by losing 2 or 3 or 4 grand, or maybe initially even 1,000. right? This is what it looks like. And then because that's typically what the days look like. Okay, here's another one. Perfect. These are pro accounts, $800 daily risk budget, $800, done. I'm done. See, these are flat. Well, they're all flat at this point. And in here, same thing. I'm pretty sure this was a screenshot from a day that I actually streamed. And I showed myself sort of stepping on my dick right here. And then same thing. Look at these. Look at these PAs. What you'll notice is on both those days, the balance was still like 158,000, even after losing about 800. I'm really hoping, I don't know if Apex is ever going to do it. I don't know how many firms are going to do it. There's one firm called the Futures Desk that does do it, which is we need to remove the first two digits of all these values. So this should say 8,000, 8,200, 266. This account would say minus 1,000, right? All right. You guys are picking up what I'm putting down. What I'd like to put down is the Dow Jones right now. Blazon, that is a very simple but correct way of starting out with the stay in your lane strategy. Buy buy 2 standard deviations below VWAP, sell at VWAP. Short 2 standard deviations above VWAP, cover at VWAP. Now there's other factors and considerations that go into it, but if you had to describe the very starting point of it, that would be correct. You are correct, sir.
Order submitted. Order filled. Order submitted.
You are correct, sir.
Order submitted. Order filled. Order submitted.
Do 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 do. So every other question about under what conditions you would do something within the framework is essentially answered in 2 words. It depends, and that is the whole concept behind why I do what I do, which is get on the mic every morning in the trade room and answer those questions in real time when people ask, like, why did you just do that? So you can learn and because ultimately the answer is it depends, and it's developing situational fluency. Both strategies are a framework. So there is decisions that you will just begin to make almost innately at some point. You've probably heard that whole thing when you go from you're just incompetent to unconscious competence, and that whole spectrum of learning or progression of learning. So it's a great question. When would you do this versus that? When would you start at a -1 instead of wait for the -2? The best thing when you're first learning is to not do anything at the ones. You don't do anything at the ones. You can start getting involved. So for instance, so this is the Dow, right? You can see how the Dow has a downward skew here, right? Today, the slope of these lines. So I still favor shorts. The challenge is every short that you do in any of these indices is still counter trend to a prevailing uptrend, which is determined by this right here. This is the 233 EMA. The 233 EMA puts the Dow and everything else in a bullish continuation pattern. We are a bull continuation pattern inside day because we're inside the prior session's range. This is the 30-minute or the stay in your, whoops, I grabbed that. Go over here. And there's really no offer zone up here, but it's just the prior session's high. But I love these questions because the answers is, it depends, and if you're going to learn how to do anything, you need to be deliberately practicing with someone that you don't have to take my word for it. You can come in and figure out whether anything I say on the mic or my singing, or more importantly, the AI music. The AI music is really what you want to stay for. So if any of that gels with you and you're able to figure out, hey, maybe this guy isn't a total bozo and he seems to have some green on the screen most days. Maybe I could have green on the screen most days. Let me go in there, ask questions, kind of figure this stuff out, and begin to develop my own situational fluency. Because that's what skill development is all about, right? You don't want to have to rely on me or anybody or even a strategy. The reason I continue to teach these two strategies is you don't have to recalibrate them. There's no recalibration. I get questions a lot about, well, why don't you add another standard deviation or all these things? But you really don't need to. For the amount of days in which that's a factor, you just don't need to do it. Nate, our gold short sucks. Just sucks, doesn't it?
Order filled.
All right, I'm closing out all these golds. We're done. Thank you for playing.
Order filled.
I'm just going to close them over here.
Order filled.
So no more fighting gold. Continues to move higher. The actual gold short is anywhere in here. From here to here. Here to here. You can start building a position right in here. I was just mentioning if you're first starting out, just avoid the ones. Wait for the twos. If you wait for the twos, sometimes you won't get a fill. And then you can be shorting anywhere in here. The only way to be dealing with gold today was to take what's called graceful exits and just do a measured move. Let me show you what this means. So let's say you're short gold and you're fighting it. Take any one of these moves and just measure it. Like, I don't know, take this one. All right? And anytime you get short, look for about this. And if you get any of that move, or even close to it, you need to get out. So I would look for, once we make a high here, that would be another measured move to the downside if we held. Now, there's been a lot of other much shorter ones here too, right? And you might not like these bar types, but this is kind of the only way. You can't do this on a 5-minute bar. It's not going to work, right? You can get these little measured moves that you can use. But a gold short today was not to be had. Since I get the question all the time, what's your favorite prop firm or whatever, these are all the ones that I have connections to. Today, I'm connected to Apex, Bullinox, Legends, my own live interactive brokers, my own live Ninja account, my funded futures, and TickTick. I had traded and made money and disconnected from Tradeify, Tradeivate, because I find that when I connect to more than 6, Tradeify is the one that seems to knock me off. And I've traded and made money already in Take Profit, so I disconnected from there. But if you're using Tradeivate from the prop firm, you can connect to an unlimited amount of firms here and multi-prop. Does most people need to do that? No, you don't need to have all these connections. So the only rhythmic connection is Bullinox. I happen to have a grandfathered version of Ninja that none of you will have, that does allow me to connect to multiple instances of rhythmic in the same instance of Ninja, but you won't be able to do that, so don't worry about it. Wondering if what is the same as Ninja. I'm using the Ninjarenkos. That's what these are. These are the Ninjarenkos. They're free. Ninjarenko. I don't charge for anything. I don't think you should ever in your life pay for an indicator. The one indicator that's a proprietary indicator, if you will, and let's see if it it just fired off right here on this bar. It's called the extreme turn. So far not working. Gold continues to push higher. You get this when you become a member and you get it forever. So the Ninzarenkos are free. And there's a link to them right here on the sign up page for the install the Ninzarenko bars. Those are free. And very soon I will be rolling out a full workspace desktop for TickBlaze, and it will have everything. All you got to do is go in and do a few configurations. Takes about 3 minutes, and you'll have this entire workspace. Both Quant Tower and Sierra, you can get Renkos that are similar. Yes. You have to learn how to configure them. We have channels in our Discord that for everything. So if you become a member of our group, we have the world's greatest Discord. It's not full of bullshit and nonsense and people asking for coupons and promotions and giveaways or whatever. It's just talk about trading, and we have channels for all the platforms. So right here on Quant Tower, we have plenty of people that have configured the Ninzas. You can or that kind of bar right there. There you go. Oh, you are a member. All right, cool. Well, if you're a member, then you should have access to that. By the way, if there are still any members out there that don't have access to all of Discord, you just have to DM Brad or Steve, because we have the free Discord area and then we have the members Discord area. Is your stop loss your daily risk budget or something? No. Your stop loss should never be your daily risk budget. You don't want to give back. So what a lot of people have settled in on is if any trade is about half of your DRB, you need to look to gracefully exit or just hit the close button. It doesn't matter where your stop and target is on that trade. So, for instance, if you had a $250 daily risk budget, you're in a position and it's down $100, $125, and you've made no profit. Remember, this nonsense of don't trade your P&L, there's so much bad advice out there. There's the market on close. I'm actually just going to take that out. Okay, so just basically scratch that one. And could we possibly close on the lows? We'll see. It doesn't look like it. Pretty muted reaction on the market on close there. So back to your daily risk budget. If you had a $250 daily risk budget and have made no money, and you had a trade that was $125 against you, by all means, please look to gracefully exit, just close it. You do not want to give away, a lot of your risk budget on one trade. But the flip side of that, what I was saying is, if you have a $250 risk budget and you're up $400, it's absolutely fine to trade your P&L, meaning not close a trade that's down $150 or $200 because you're still up on the day. It doesn't mean you add to it. It doesn't mean you don't trade at the same levels. It doesn't mean you vary from the strategy and from managing risk. It just means that you do things properly. There's something to be said for decisions made with house money. 100%. There's no way you're ever going to grow or get bigger if your size doesn't get bigger in the right places. We were just talking about strength of signal a little bit earlier. You're not gonna grow if you stay on the bunny slopes for too long. By the way, look at this gold. Finally. The good news is we're not in it anymore. $65.
Order filled. Order filled.
All right. I think the key is to listen to another song before the room is over. The problem is I don't have any other songs in here. Can't listen to another song. So I do not use I don't use stops. The stop management that I would teach is to take a 1-to-1 reward to risk or a 2-to-1 reward to risk from entry to target. So let me just move to some account right here so that it doesn't distract that I'm in a position. All right, so let's say you're flat here, right? And you short this level right here. You short VWAP. Okay, you short VWAP. If you short VWAP, your first target is -1, and an extended target would be -2. So if you short VWAP, what we want to do is measure. We want to measure from here to here. By the way, pay attention to this if you want to know how to do something dynamically that no one else does. Because a lot of other people use this swing, or I put my thing above that swing and this swing, and then that's a 3-to-1, and they never let it go to target, and they don't have anything that's dynamic. It has nothing to do. It's just with the structure that they're looking at. You know, they're using the iceberg wedgie triple ham sandwich. So that's your target. That's 79 points. If you want a 1-to-1, which it should be at least 1-to-1, just put your stop 79 points above it. If you want a 2-to-1, put your stop half of that. So you have a 40-point stop and an 80-point target. Do not look for a target at a level that hasn't been hit for the day. So you can use the -2 as a target here today because it's been hit. So if you wanted to have a 2-to-1, you measure from here to here. No one teaches this, by the way, and no one uses dynamic stuff, so do that. 157. Now it's a lot easier to have a 2-to-1 because the math's pretty nice. Have a 75-point stop, and you have a 157-point target. And this is your target. It's completely unique to you, right? No one's going to run your demo stops. No one's hunting your demo stops or your demo targets. Right? This is completely unique to you. Right? All right, so now going back to the fact I am still short here. So we'll put a target down
Order
here now.
submitted.
1 week close, baby. Let's get 1 week close. So there you go. Difference between a graceful exit and a favorable excursion to your position is you're either in a graceful exit mode or you're just managing a position. So for those of you not familiar with the graceful exit, it's what you're always told you should do, but no one teaches, which is how to be completely impatient with unprofitable positions. Don't worry about how to be patient with profitable positions. That's a different mindset, different lessons. But with unprofitable positions, if price quickly and significantly goes against you, look to just get out of the trade. It doesn't matter where your stops and targets are. If it quickly goes against you, I don't know about you, but I just like immediate gratification. I want to know that a level or an entry is working, quote unquote, or not. So the question was, what's the difference between a favorable excursion and a graceful exit? The difference is what's your intent at the time. Are you in graceful exit mode where you are going to exit on any favorable excursion? If anyone was in the room today, I had a master class on graceful exits in the gold short today because gold just was not retracing. So I was in graceful exit mode from the moment I got in the the trade. So on every opportunity where it retraced, I just cut my size down. And then eventually when we got enough of a pullback, I just closed it for about a $300 loss. Oh, well, that's not good. Why do you guys keep doing this? I don't know what to do. I'm not sure there's anything else I can do. Gracefully exited your way out of PAs. Well, you should be able to get them back. Get them back. All right. Another buying close. There are no sellers in this market right now. So should be able to have seen that over the last 2 weeks or so. There are no sellers in this market. No sellers. They had to really work to even be red today, right? Where are we going to? So we'll see. Maybe Dow closes down 100 points. Yeah, someone's mentioning sizing down for evals to get ready for PAs. The whole thing's toxic. Don't do any of that. Trade the same way the whole time. Micros only, very tight risk budget, and then take your effing time to go through the evals and stuff. Read my ebook. Literally just do it exactly the way I tell you guys to do it. And you can cash flow the F out of these.
Order filled.
All right, there's a touch of a VWAP here. If you pass any prop eval in less than 20 days, you're not doing it right. Now, can you eventually develop the skill to get bigger in evals and put on a little bit more size and accelerate? Yes, you can. Yes, of course. But you're not there if you have not done it properly multiple times and gotten to a funded account and gotten payouts. And I'm encouraging my own group to get there as much as possible because I'm bummed. I mean, I'm bummed that in the prop payout channel, it's me and about 20 other people. I want it to be me and 1,000 people. Right? Now, there's a lot. This is the TDG Way, $750 payout. You keep your cost there, $745, $4,500, $500. There's Janelle taking out $2,000 out of 2. I post each one of these because it's $2,750. I take every 8 days from 2 PAs, people, 2. At Apex, in the history of their program, I've only funded 27 accounts. Of the 25, 4 of them were officially blown. The other 21 were literally just practiced and canceled. There's reasons for that. Don't worry about it. But I've held the PA 26 and PA 27, which is what these are. I've had them for the whole year so far. $2,750 from 2 PAs. This is $11,000 per month. It's actually $11,000 every 18 days, basically. All right, that's a nice little pullback here. So I will run a little buy stop, see if we can. I need to cancel all these orders. Okay.
Order canceled.
So I do want to put a
Order
buy stop
submitted.
in here.
Order submitted. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
All right. So the only position I have on now is this short Dow that you see here. So there's nothing special about what I'm doing here. And I don't have one of the other things that I've always found funny in our group, or interesting, I don't know if it's really funny, it could be tragic too, is we'll have some, standout people, you could call them superstars or whatever, and they'll put some P&L porn, we call it P&L porn, in the chat. And people will immediately start to ask, well, what are you doing, or how do you do it? And which is great, because there are some people that do things differently. It's not monkey see, monkey do when it comes. But more often than not, they'll say, I pretty much just do what you see Rod do. And I even take advantage of the fact when he says things like, let me get short or long here early or at a particular level that's not necessarily where we should be waiting for, so that you don't have to. So you can see the outcome of the trade without. By the way, I can't make this up, people. Did you see the touch here? Give me a 1 in the chat if you saw that touch. I for the life of me, I can't believe why more people don't. I know VWAP is having a moment finally. We've been using these bars and VWAP since late 2008, in the start of the financial crisis. No, even a little earlier. Felton started creating them in like 2005, the bars. And then we started testing and doing things with VWAP way before anyone even knew what VWAP was or cared. It's the same as Bollinger. No, it's not. The math's not the same as a Bollinger Band. Anyway, there's the touch right there. The other thing, if you were watching, was the little exit here. This is a little bit of a feel thing, right? But finally pulled back in. I saw some strength in some other stuff. It was kind of a boring close. And then now I'll be holding this. Looking ultimately for these orders are of course going to get canceled by Interactive Brokers.
Order submitted
At the end of the session, but maybe for some reason, let's imagine if the world just fell apart. United Healthcare. Yeah, you can blow. Micros make money both ways. We know that. Micros make money. All right. That'll be good for today. Are there any other questions? If you get them in there with a 20-second delay, I can answer if there's anything else. I would imagine that 95% of questions are answered in the Prop Done Right ebook right here, which you can download, find out everything about our group. So let me read you this repetition rule. You're going to begin to notice as you read through this book that I repeat things a lot. In fact, I intentionally repeat phrases and concepts. Why? Because I know from experience that most traders are dudes, right? Nude, girls, XXX. So this is the 3 times rule. So let me tell you again, all that matters is risk management. You just have to think risk first. You'll stay in the game. You'll keep your emotional capital under control. You don't have to be on some sort of... The failure rate in this business is so high, not because of psychology and all this stuff. It's just because most people are not trained to think properly. You can say that your thought process is part of your edge. Think in drawdown, not the notional value, right? So all these accounts is just silly. You're trading a small account. And then finally, stick to micros. If you trade any mini in any prop account until you get the balance to $20,000, let me say this again. If you trade any mini in any prop account until you get the balance to $20,000, that means Let's say you had the $2,500 account, you pass it, now you have a account with basically a zero balance and $2,500 in drawdown. You have to get that to literally $20,000. And then you could trade, maybe you're properly capitalized to start trading some minis. I don't use the same things. No, for bonds, we use the range trader. So for bonds, it's the range trader, which is one of the strategies. And I was long the ZN here using this extreme turn buy. All right, we'll leave it there for today. Thank you very much.